Click and start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Science of Reading program webinar series, Reading Comprehension in Action. My name is Victoria Moriarty, and I'm on the literacy team here at Amplify. We are so excited you've joined us today to learn more about mCLASS DIBELS 8th edition, our all-in-one universal screener, dyslexia screener, and intervention tool for grades K-8. Today's session is being recorded, and we'll share the recording link and presentation deck via email later this week, and you'll also receive a certificate of attendance for joining us today. If you'd like to access closed captioning, please click on the CC button in the bottom tray and then show captions. Be sure to register for our other webinars at amplify.com/fall 2025 SOR demos. Even if you can't make all of them, we'll send out recording links for all the webinars that you register for. We welcome comments in the chat. And to start, I'd love to hear where everyone is joining us from. And while people are telling us where they're coming from, just want to remind you about our upcoming webinars. As I mentioned, we have several more in our series, and we'd love to see you at them. And like we said before, if you can't make them, still register to receive that link to watch on demand whenever your schedule allows. Ooh, we've got people coming in from all over, some Canadians. I'm joining from Cleveland, Ohio today. Thanks again for joining us for today's session, Providing Strong Intervention with mCLASS DIBELS 8th edition, presented by Joelle Muller. Joelle serves as a product trainer at Amplify, specializing in mCLASS literacy assessment and intervention products. Her literacy expertise began with designing and implementing elementary curriculum in central Mexico and has evolved through extensive hands-on experience with assessment and intervention tools. She holds a master's in education leadership from IEU Universidad, a master of education in educational technology and instructional design from WGU, and a CPACC certification demonstrating her commitment to inclusive design for all learners. Joelle's journey with Amplify began as a tutor and tutor coach, where she used mCLASS DIBELS 8th edition to assess hundreds of students across the country. She has developed deep expertise in mCLASS intervention through direct implementation with student groups and by training educators, paraprofessionals, and interventionists to successfully implement the program. Welcome, Joelle. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here and talk about providing strong intervention with mCLASS DIBELS 8. I'll go ahead and get started, everyone. And first off, the chat. People are from everywhere. That's amazing. I'm so excited to be able to reach out to people from across the country and across the world. Let's start by walking you through our agenda for today. We're going to start off with an introduction where we'll explore the MTSS framework for strong intervention and discuss the science of reading principles that underpin effective intervention. Second, we'll examine mCLASS DIBELS 8th assessment data and how that data drives our intervention decisions. Third, we'll look at DIBELS 8th and mCLASS intervention, understanding how these work together within the multi-tiered system. And finally, we'll explore DIBELS 8th and Boost Reading's digital intervention, showing how digital intervention tools can be utilized as a component of a multi-tiered system of intervention. I am really hoping that by the end of our time together today, you'll have a clear understanding of how mCLASS DIBELS 8th edition and its companion products create a comprehensive system for providing strong, data-driven intervention to all students. Let's begin with the introduction. So, every educator knows that effective intervention can transform student outcomes. But providing strong intervention requires more than simply good intentions. It demands a systematic approach, grounded in research and driven by data. Today, we'll explore how the MTSS framework, combined with science of reading principles, creates the foundation for strong intervention. and how mCLASS DIBELS 8th edition serves as a cornerstone for implementing this approach successfully. Let's get started by watching a short clip of a video.
You guys talked about implementing interventions that are tailored to groups of students or individual students' needs. Can you talk a little bit about the difference between the MTSS framework as opposed to the response to intervention or instruction framework that most schools are using today?
Well, originally it was all just RTI, response to intervention. This is a couple decades ago, where people had a lot of concerns at one point about how we go around identifying learning disabilities. And there was a group of people that said, you can't really know if a student has a learning disability unless you try to teach them and use high quality instruction and document what you taught and how you taught it, and then monitor their response. The hypothesis being that there's going to be some kids that'll have minimal response and others that will have a typical adequate response to that. So we look at the response to instruction to see, is this potentially a student with a learning disability? But as the scholarship on that developed and as schools started to implement this, like the co-op where I used to work, implemented this for a very long time. And the focus gradually shifted and expanded to be, this is not just special ed, this is general ed, this is K through 12. And originally it was all like elementary reading, but that expanded to include math and writing, and now social emotional learning and social behavior in school, mental health. So the idea has just expanded much wider beyond that original concept of response to intervention, or RTI. So it was back in, I'd want to say 2010, but don't quote me on that, when I think we hit a bit of a tipping point and people just started calling it multi-tiered systems of support, because it's a much more inclusive name. It's really about all of our students and not just those that are struggling. And it's really about all of our different people in the building and not just the special education teachers and the school psychologists.
So let's examine that concept of MTSS more closely and how it supports strong intervention for students. A multi-tiered system of supports, MTSS, is a proactive and preventative framework that integrates data and instruction to maximize student achievement and support students' social, emotional, and behavior needs from a strengths-based perspective. It offers a framework for educators to engage in data-based decision-making related to program improvement, high-quality instruction and intervention, social and emotional learning, and positive behavioral supports necessary to ensure those positive outcomes for districts, schools, teachers, students. The MTSS framework is comprised of 4 essential components: screening, progress monitoring, multi-level prevention system, and data-based decisions. It creates strong intervention through 4 key components. First, multiple tiers or levels of intervention support along a continuum of increasing intensity, ensuring the right level of support for each student's needs. Second, the use of technically sound and appropriate assessment data, so interventions are targeted and effective. Third, systematic, data-based decision making guided by planned decision rules that removes the guesswork from intervention selection. And fourth, scientifically or research-based instruction and intervention supports implemented with fidelity, guaranteeing interventions are delivered as intended. The systematic approach ensures interventions are both strong and successful. Today, we'll talk about how mCLASS DIBELS 8th, along with other Amplify products that use mCLASS DIBELS 8th data to provide a multi-tiered system of interventions, can be used to provide strong intervention to all students. Now, we've established the MTSS framework for strong intervention. Let's connect this to the science of reading. The principles of the science of reading embody the decades of research supporting the development of skilled readers and writers. Today's presentation is built upon the second Science of Reading principle. Learning to read and write is not natural and must be taught systematically, explicitly, and cumulatively. That brings us to a critical question. How can you offer your students the strongest targeted intervention? It all starts with data. Data is that foundation for instruction if it is systematic, explicit, and cumulative, whether it be Tier 1 instruction or Tier 3 intervention. When we combine the MTSS framework with science of reading principles, we create a powerful system where data drives every instructional decision, ensuring our interventions are both scientifically sound and systematically delivered. This is where mCLASS DIBELS 8th comes in as our essential data source. So, to fully grasp how we can use data to inform our interventions within the MTSS framework, let's consider our students and their experience. Today, we will follow the story of Maya. Maya is a third grader who just started at a new school utilizing the suite of Amplify's literacy products. As we follow her progress, consider how these tools demonstrate the four essential MTSS components: screening, progress monitoring, multi-level prevention system, and data-based decisions, while ensuring that her interventions are taught systematically, explicitly, and cumulatively, three words that you will hear over and over again throughout today's presentation. Maya's journey will show us how MTSS transforms from a framework into practice. Our first step in this journey, of course, is her mCLASS assessment with mCLASS DIBELS 8th, which provides the screening data that launches our systematic approach to supporting her reading development. Take a look here at Maya's beginning of year benchmark assessment results. Remember, every student's data tells a story. Upon completion of DIBELS 8th assessment measures, educators gain immediate access to comprehensive student reports through their portals. These reports use intuitive color coding to help teachers quickly interpret student performance at a glance. Green, that signals student has achieved benchmark status or they're reading at grade level. Yellow indicates below grade level performance. That signals instructional needs in specific areas. Red scores reveal students performing well below those grade level expectations. Maya's results identify her as below benchmark. She represents those students who might otherwise fly under the radar, while she demonstrates some strength in reading comprehension and appears to extract meaning from text using context clues and compensatory strategies. Her significantly lower scores in letter sounds and decoding reveal a critical gap. This data tells Maya's story. Without solid foundational skills in phonics and decoding, she lacks the building blocks necessary for continued reading growth. Her comprehension strengths are masking fundamental weaknesses that will become increasingly problematic as texts become more and more complex. Now that Maya has been identified as requiring some additional support, the MTSS framework calls for intensified progress monitoring to track her response to intervention. Throughout the semester, her teacher will implement regular mCLASS assessment measures to gather comprehensive progress monitoring data. This systematic approach builds upon our initial benchmark data set, creating a rich longitudinal picture of Maya's growth trajectory. This continuous data collection empowers her teacher to make timely, informed instructional adjustments, ensuring Maya receives precisely the support she needs when she needs it the most. Within the mCLASS portal, Maya's teacher can access this wealth of information through an intuitive data table like the one displayed here. The clear, organized presentation allows educators to quickly analyze trends, identify patterns, and make evidence-based decisions about Maya's instructional path. This is data-driven decision-making in action, transforming numbers into actionable insights that can directly impact student outcomes. Maya's teacher can leverage this comprehensive data to establish personalized, data-driven goals tailored specifically to her learning needs. The mCLASS system then generates dynamic visual graphs that chart Maya's progress trajectory toward these individualized targets. These visual representations transform that raw data into compelling growth stories, allowing both the teacher and student to celebrate incremental victories and identify when instructional adjustments are needed to maintain momentum toward her goals. While mCLASS DIBELS 8th is renowned as an assessment product, it also features a powerful integrated instruction tool. This comprehensive resource enables teachers to deliver precisely targeted instruction and intervention to small groups within their classroom, all driven by students' DIBELS 8th assessment data. So the system's algorithm automatically organizes students into strategic groups based on their assessment results and those identified skills patterns. Each small group then receives customized resources and explicit guidance designed to address their specific skill strand need. Here, we see that Maya has been grouped with another student, Natalie, who demonstrates similar learning needs. The data indicates that both girls' instructional focus should center on developing proficiency with letter sound correspondences, a foundational skill critical to their reading development. Scrolling down the page, teachers can access a rich library of research-based instructional activities, specifically designed to support these two students in effective small group settings, ensuring systematic, explicit, and cumulative instruction. Okay, so we've just seen how mCLASS DIBELS 8th provides the essential screening and progress monitoring data that drives our MTSS framework, and how its integrated instruction tool delivers targeted Tier 1 support through strategic small group instruction within the classroom. But what happens when students like Maya need even more intensive support beyond what Tier 1 can provide? That brings us to our next critical component, DIBELS 8th and mCLASS intervention. We'll explore how this powerful combination moves us up the MTSS continuum to deliver the systematic, explicit, and cumulative Tier 2 and 3 interventions that students with significant reading gaps require to accelerate their progress and close the achievement gap. Let's see how Maya's journey continues as she receives more intensive intervention support. Powered by Maya's DIBELS 8th data, the mCLASS intervention platform delivers all the lessons, progress monitoring, and instructional guidance that educators, interventionists, teachers, paraprofessionals, tutors, or volunteers need to help every student grow into a confident reader. Here's what makes this system truly powerful. It's designed to do that heavy lifting of data analysis and lesson generation. So instead of spending hours analyzing data and searching for appropriate materials, educators can focus on what they do best, teaching. This seamless integration means Maya's assessment data automatically drives her intervention experience. So, with mCLASS intervention, we have a strategic combination of our mCLASS DIBELS 8th data along with specialized mCLASS intervention decoding assessments to drive both student grouping and lesson selection. Our focus on decoding or word recognition aligns perfectly with the simple view of reading and Scarborough's reading rope, which form the theoretical foundation across the entire Amplify literacy suite. This emphasis makes sense because decoding is precisely where early readers like Maya need the most intensive support. So, looking here, we have 4 different decoding measures. First, regular words. We have those basic VC or CVC structures. Second, irregular words. They don't follow those typical phonetic patterns. Third, words containing letter combinations. And fourth, words with advanced phonics features. These comprehensive diagnostic results enable us to further fine-tune mCLASS intervention instruction for Maya and her classmates, ensuring each student receives precisely targeted support based on their specific decoding strengths and needs. Now that we've established targeted goals based on Maya's assessment data, let's see how that translates into actionable instruction. Maya's educator receives a comprehensive PDF containing both a 10-day lesson plan overview and 10 complete individual lessons. This systematic approach ensures consistent, purposeful instruction over an extended period. The 10-day plan provides a clear roadmap, showing educators exactly what will happen each day to move Maya and her classmates toward their learning goals. Notice how mCLASS intervention has determined that Maya's small group should focus on 2 critical skills: regular word recognition and sounding out and blending. This precise skill targeting comes directly from her assessment data. Each day's lesson contains exactly 5 activities. Maya and her group mates will begin with 2 activities focused on regular word recognition, then transition to sounding out and blending activities, progressively building their accuracy and fluency. As the days progress, these skills are strategically spiraled to reinforce learning and build automaticity. Previously taught skills are systematically reviewed to ensure reinforcement and ultimate mastery. Let's examine this systematic approach in action by looking at a review activity designed to help Maya's group master vowel sounds. We're going to zoom in now on day 8, activity A, vowel sound accuracy. Let's examine this activity in greater detail to understand how mCLASS intervention constructs its targeted activities and lessons. Notice that each lesson begins with a precise, data-driven goal that directly addresses specific areas of need identified in students' DIBELS 8th assessment results. In this example, the goal states the student can associate the vowel with its sound from a spoken word and can spell and write words using the correct vowel. This isn't a generic learning objective. It's a targeted outcome designed specifically to address the gaps Maya's data revealed, ensuring every minute of instruction directly supports her pathway to reading proficiency. Maya's educator receives a comprehensive, detailed instructional plan for each activity. What you're viewing here is a precise, word for word script designed specifically for the educator. It includes detailed step by step instructions that streamline intervention delivery, enabling any staff member or volunteer to teach these lessons with complete fidelity. I have experience with this in Chicago. They had difficulty staffing some of the schools. What they would often have is volunteers from the neighborhood, the grandmother of the student that lives down the street that wants to ensure that the student gets the intervention that they need. And let me tell you, that grandmother was beloved in the school. So when she came in and was given this systematic approach, she could seamlessly step in, read a script, and successfully implement these skill building activities with her students. The same can happen with Maya's group. Maya's teacher can have the flexibility to work with other small groups or attend additional instructional activities while a tutor, a paraprofessional, or another interventionist is working with this group. That's the power of systematic design. It ensures that consistent, high quality intervention regardless of who is delivering the instruction. The activity sheet also contains a list of all necessary materials, which are either provided in a format that can be printed, like this copy of Vowel Sound Accuracy printed word list, or are typically found around the classroom, such as paper and pencil for the students. Finally, comprehensive differentiation guidance accompanies each activity, ensuring every student's needs are met. Whether Maya's group requires additional scaffolding and support, or they're ready for enhanced challenges, educators have explicit implementation strategies at their fingertips. This built-in flexibility ensures that instruction remains responsive to student needs while maintaining systematic fidelity to the intervention design. Now, let's see the systematic approach in action. We'll observe Maya's educator working directly with her group as she implements this vowel sound accuracy activity.
mCLASS Intervention Activity Demonstration, Vowel Sound Accuracy.
In a few minutes, we're going to play a game. Before we play, we need to practice reading some words that you're going to need during this game. So we're going to begin by reviewing the vowels. My turn. These are our vowels that we'll be paying attention to. A, E, I, O, U. Let's remember the sounds. I'll do the first one. A can say its name, A, long vowel sound, or A. So how about this, everybody? E says E or E.
I says
I or
I.
Very nice.
O says
O or aw, like those big mouths.
U says U or
Very good. So take a look at my first row of words. All of these words are almost the same. There's only one difference in them. And each of these words, the vowels are a little bit different. I'm going to select one of you to read a word out loud, and the rest of you need to find out which word it is. All right? So are you ready? You get to read the first word. What is the word?
Stick.
Who can find that word up there? Let's go ahead. And Amaya, come on up. Can you show us sick? Let's check if she's right. Let's do the sounds. Ick. Now let's blend it. Sick. Oh, very nice job reading that word, paying attention to the vowel. All right, ready? You want to pick a word? Can you read that word?
Sock.
Sock. Donita, thank you for raising your hand quietly. Can you come on up?
Sock.
How did you know that was sock?
Because the O is R. I sounded out, and then I just noticed it is sock is start with the O.
That's right. So you heard that in the middle, right? Did you hear O or ah?
Ah.
Very good listening ears. Let's sound it out like she did. She said she sounded out. Sock.
Sock.
She paid attention to the vowel.
We just witnessed the power of mCLASS intervention in action. We saw Maya's educator successfully utilize systematic, scripted approach to deliver targeted instruction that directly addressed Maya's specific learning needs, identified through her DIBELS 8th data. And you saw how well she did. Look at that group. They're all engaged, having fun, and doing well. We saw her actively meeting her learning objectives. This is systematic, explicit, and cumulative instruction, working exactly as intended within our MTSS framework. Before we move on from this section, I have a few really good questions in the chat about mCLASS intervention, so I'm going to take just a moment to answer some of those questions. So we have one, where do you find the PDF lesson plans for Tier 2 and Tier 3 instruction based on student needs? Those plans are part of our product, mCLASS intervention. Depending on if you have that product, you can access them within our platform. Now, this is interventionhub.amplify.com. I'm going to put it in the chat. That gives much more information to answer questions about mCLASS intervention, where to find those lesson plans, and a lot of the questions that are in the chat, the answers can be found here. You can also see me again, hear me again, as I helped with some of the videos on this support site. So that answers where you found them. A lot of these other answers we can find here, but just real quick, how long should each day take? mCLASS intervention lessons are meant to take approximately 25 minutes, with each separate activity, A through E, taking about 5 minutes apiece. So it's that 30 minutes 3 times a week that we have found research-based support for intervention. When can teachers pick and choose depending on what they know about the groups? That is going to be an mCLASS instruction. So that is part of the companion program to just mCLASS DIBELS 8th. I'm going to go back to just quickly show you mCLASS instruction. That is where a teacher, someone with a background in education, can pick and choose what they know depending on the group. And that is part of the mCLASS DIBELS 8th assessment product. So if you have mCLASS DIBELS 8th, you also have this instruction tool. The separate product we just talked about is mCLASS intervention. That's going to be that tier 2, tier 3 intervention. We want it to be more systematic, more targeted, so it gives you exactly what to work on and allows for a variety of staff or volunteers to implement it. Is there a separate diagnostic assessment that was shown? Yes. mCLASS interventions diagnostic probes. Feel free, you can find out more about them in that intervention hub link that I just shared. But these are probes that go specifically with mCLASS intervention to further align the mCLASS intervention lessons with the specific skills the students are working on. The activity you showed us says 8 minutes. So actually it says it's day 8. So on day 8, you would do these 5 different activities, A, B, C, D, and E. They average out to 5 minutes each. Some are a little bit longer, some are a little bit shorter. Okay. As for adding any products, please reach out to Amplify. I will give you a support link at the end through which you can reach out about adding any of these products you may be interested in. Okay, so I've answered the question we have gotten so far. We are going to move on into engaging digital tools and intervention that can extend our students' learning time and reinforce their learning. So DIBELS 8th and Boost Reading Digital Intervention help us provide digital technology powered by DIBELS 8th data to provide additional targeted practice and reinforcement to accelerate Maya's reading growth and serve as a tier 2 or 3 support. Let's discover how this digital intervention seamlessly integrates with our systematic approach to create even more opportunities for Maya's success. DIBELS 8th edition data serves as the foundation that powers Boost Reading's personalized digital intervention. Here's how the integration works. So mCLASS data automatically places students at the appropriate Boost Reading starting point. Maya's assessment results determine exactly where she begins her digital learning journey, ensuring that she's neither overwhelmed nor under-challenged. This system provides side-by-side mCLASS and Boost Reading data. allowing educators to monitor Maya's progress across both assessment and digital intervention platforms. This integration ensures Maya receives personalized digital practice that directly targets the specific skill gaps identified in her DIBELS 8th assessment, creating a seamless bridge between data-driven assessment and adaptive digital intervention. So, what do we have here? It is Maya's personalized learning path within Boost Reading. It illustrates a fundamental truth. Every learner is beautifully complex. While Maya struggles with those early decoding skills, she demonstrates remarkable strength in vocabulary development. This represents the reality for many students: uneven skill development across different literacy domains. Maya's challenges with early decoding don't define her complete learning profile. The personalized path in Boost Reading provides Maya's teacher with comprehensive insights, revealing that she's excelling in vocabulary and making exceptional progress in this area. This same detailed view extends across all her literacy skills. Teachers can quickly assess student growth across multiple domains with just a glance at the personalized path. So, how does Boost Reading digital intervention strategically cater to Maya's unique learning profile and her unique needs? When Maya's mCLASS results flag early decoding challenges, Boost Reading immediately delivers targeted practice focused on those specific sub-skills. She begins her personalized journey in Bookerton, where she encounters engaging storylines that seamlessly integrate with skill practice curated specifically for her needs. Every Boost Reading student participates in these same compelling storylines, regardless of their working grade level, ensuring students like Maya never feel excluded while working through their individual challenges. As Maya progresses through the skill building games, Boost Reading analyzes every click and response to detect her early decoding struggles. The system then delivers just right scaffolding and strategically reintroduces decoding practice when she's ready. No teacher intervention required. Here's the power of Boost Reading's adaptive technology. Once the live adaptivity system activates, Maya receives precursor skills designed to strengthen her decoding abilities at that foundational level. That ensures she builds her capacity from the ground up, rather than repeatedly practicing skills she's not yet ready to master. As Maya develops proficiency in these foundational skills, Boost Reading recognizes her readiness and strategically reintroduces the original early decoding skills she initially struggled with. Now, Maya is prepared to succeed and accelerate her progress. This intelligent scaffolding continues across all of Maya's skill areas, keeping her consistently moving forward without requiring the teacher to intervene. It's personalized learning that truly adapts to each student's unique needs. Vocabulary, on the other hand, represents Maya's area of greatest confidence, and Boost Reading capitalizes on that strength. While she continues to receive targeted decoding support, her robust vocabulary skills are simultaneously advancing through increasingly sophisticated practice opportunities. The algorithm recognizes precisely when Maya is ready for more challenging content within specific skill areas. This is personalized learning at its finest. It employs a sophisticated layered approach that provides strategic scaffolding for skills where Maya struggles, while offering adaptive advancement in areas where she's ready to excel and build that confidence. The result? Maya remains consistently progressing and deeply engaged across all literacy domains, with each skill area receiving exactly the right level of support and challenge she needs to succeed. And here's the best part. Boost reading seamlessly integrates into any part of the instructional day. Students just need 30 minutes per week of practice. That's it. Completely student led. No teachers needed to help except to log them in. Boost reading handles everything from there. No prep time, no additional planning, no constant monitoring required. And let me tell you, I have two little ones. They beg me to go on Boost. And this could also be sent home to work on at home. The efficiency makes it perfect for centers, intervention time, independent practice, or even homework at home, wherever it fits best in your classroom or home routine. Now let's take a quick look at an actual Boost reading game that Maya might encounter on her personalized learning path. Let's observe Maya in action as she plays a game specifically designed to support her independent skill development in letter sound blending.
Drag the letter tile to make the word bat. Change bat to mat. Use this tile to remove letters from the word. Change mat to bat.
Before we move on to our next part, I have a really interesting question in the chat I just saw, so I want to answer it. Can all students use Boost or just for kids who need intervention? I feel like that brings us full circle to that MTSS video we were seeing. Yes, we want to help those struggling students. We want to help those students that need intervention, but we want to help those students that are flying under the radar, like Maya, that might need just a little bit of extra support, or those students that are on benchmark but still need an area that they need to work on. Maybe they're a benchmark, but they didn't really build up those foundational decoding skills. They're going to struggle as they're trying to sound out those big words as they get into fifth and sixth grade. These products absolutely can be for everyone, and I've seen them used in schools so efficiently to help all students, tier 1 through tier 3. Let's take a moment now to examine a complete day in the life of Maya and see how all these components can work together seamlessly. So, Maya begins her day being progress monitored with mCLASS DIBELS 8th assessment measure NWF. It'll help her educators see Maya's response to intervention, how she's doing, that progress monitoring that needs to be done regularly. She then builds on her progress with letter sound knowledge during her core instruction period. Her teacher strategically uses DIBELS 8th mCLASS instruction activities, so the activities that are included when you purchase mCLASS DIBELS 8th, to help all students in the class decode words, beginning with continuous sounds, ensuring Maya receives targeted Tier 1 support alongside her peers. Maya then engages in independent boost reading practice, where her personalized path delivers exactly the letter sound blending games and vocabulary challenges her mCLASS data identifies. She works on her own, while her teacher facilitates other instructional activities. Let's watch what she does.
Drag the toast to feed the goblin.
Bull. Bull. Z. Z.
Yeah.
Z.
Wasn't that fun? My kids love those goblins. Okay, and last but not least, Maya connects with a paraprofessional for intensive intervention. Using this morning's fresh assessment data, the paraprofessional has accessed a new mCLASS intervention lesson set. Maya and her group mates continue working on precisely targeted skills based on their shared zone of proximal development. This is systematic, data-driven instruction in action. From whole group to independent practice to intensive intervention, and they're all powered by Maya's DIBELS 8th data. Today, we followed Maya's journey from initial screening through targeted intervention, and we've witnessed the power of a truly integrated system in action. We began with the MTSS framework and science of reading principles, establishing that strong intervention must be systematic, explicit, and cumulative. We've seen how mCLASS DIBELS 8th edition provides the essential data foundation that drives every instructional decision. If you only have mCLASS DIBELS 8th edition, you already possess the critical component for strong intervention, reliable, actionable data that informs your instructional decisions and fits seamlessly within your MTSS framework. Those built-in instruction activities, mCLASS instruction, provide immediate support for targeted teaching. Whether your district chooses to add mCLASS intervention for systematic educator-led support, boost reading for personalized digital practice, or integrates both solutions, each additional tool enhances that existing foundation. You don't need every component to see success. Each product is designed to work independently or together, meeting your district exactly where they're at. The beauty of the system lies in its flexibility. Start with that robust DIBELS 8th assessment data. Then add the intervention tools that best serve your students' needs and your implementation capacity. Most importantly, we've seen Maya succeed today. From a student who might have flown under the radar to one receiving precisely the support she needs. This is what happens when we align assessment data with systematic intervention within a comprehensive MTSS framework. Your students deserve strong intervention. Whether you have just mCLASS DIBELS 8th or multiple solutions, these tools can seamlessly support that goal within your existing system. We really appreciate you joining us for her story today. Maya's success story can be every student's story. Now we're going to move in to our question component of today's webinar. First, the best way to get an answer specifically for your question is to contact us at service.amplify.com/support. I will put that link in the chat now. Okay. As you can see here, you will add some of your personal data so that we know what products you have access to, what state you're in, because every district is unique and needs unique answers and unique support. So here is the best place to go to get that support. A member of our team will be very happy to assist you. And while you're doing that, while you're putting those questions in there, I'm going to answer some questions in the chat along with some commonly asked questions out loud for everyone to hear. Remember, you may have your own question. Another person probably has the same question. So by asking it, you're helping someone else. In the chat, I have a question. Is mCLASS instruction different from mCLASS intervention? Yes, it is. mCLASS DIBELS 8th includes mCLASS instruction. So that is what the teacher, the educator can utilize for some small groups, tier 1 instruction support. That is mCLASS instruction. mCLASS intervention is a product that includes some more diagnostic assessments and then those lesson plans specifically for your group. That's more guided to that tier 2, tier 3 intervention. Is Boost always included? It is not always included, but feel free to reach out on that support site if Boost is something that you are interested in. And then we have a comment about Louisiana. So Louisiana actually is the statewide screener for DIBELS 8th for grades K through 3, which means Louisiana has a lot of unique features because it's statewide. For that reason, it is very important to fill out this support form because then they will know that you are a Louisiana customer and be able to give you that state specific answer to that question. Moving on into another few questions that we often see. First off, does the criteria mCLASS intervention uses to determine skill levels vary by the time of year? So this is mCLASS intervention, the separate product that utilizes mCLASS DIBELS 8th edition assessment data. So the answer is it depends on the skill. So some skills have criteria that change by grade level and time of year. For example, fluency and comprehension. Those texts get more and more complex throughout the year and throughout the grade levels, but some do not, like letter sound correspondence. Another question. Should my Spanish speaking English language learner students be in a separate group? This is close to my heart. Schools that have the best results with mCLASS intervention don't create separate groups for their Spanish speaking ELL kids. Having separate groups inevitably decreases the homogeneousness of the skills-based groups. It increases the number of groups staff have to serve and prevents that ELL student from being able to hear their English-speaking peers model words and structures. If ELL students need additional intervention beyond reading skills, make sure there's separate time and place for that. I have worked with many Spanish speaking groups, and they really benefit from that language immersion. It can be challenging, absolutely, and we need to be there to support them. But allowing them to be in a group that's working on those same skill areas, that's what's most important. So that site I sent you, Intervention Hub, you'll find out a lot of information about mCLASS intervention. One of the components is we need a coordinator for mCLASS intervention. A question we often receive, how many hours per week does someone set aside for intervention coordinator tasks? So you iron out details at the beginning. You need to get all those assessment going, those groups set up. So it could be a bigger lift in the beginning. But once that machine is up and running, it takes just a couple hours a week to oversee the program, oversee tutors or paraprofessionals or volunteers, whoever it is that has come to work within the school system. I have another question in the chat that I will move on to now. Um, is the progress monitoring also digital aligned with the same 10-day intervention lesson cycle? Absolutely. Each mCLASS intervention lesson set will let you know exactly what you will be progress monitoring on day 10 of the cycle. So at that point, you progress monitor those two specific skill areas you've been working on. We want to look at response to intervention. We don't do a full assessment like we do at beginning, middle, and end of the year. We're just looking at how they're doing, if they need more support or changes to the skill areas. So that progress monitoring needs to be done before a new lesson set is created, and then they will get activities specific to those skill areas. Next, you said Boost can be used at home. Is the time unlimited? Is there a cutoff time? I don't want kids spending hours on this at home. Okay, so when I worked with mCLASS intervention, we also had the product Boost available to us. It comes with send home letters that you can send home to the parent, and the parent scans it and then has their child on Boost reading. Now, there are not time limits, so this is something where you are allowing the parent to be in charge of their screen time. But I will say, and this is just a personal point of view, I would prefer them to be on Boost Reading for their screen time over what they would be on otherwise. And we definitely do not make those decisions for parents as per how much screen time a kid is necessarily getting at home. So I do like for them to have those resources, and the letter you can send home is fabulous. I My school tells me that I have access to Dreambox. Still can't figure out how to get in there, and I have asked everyone. This is very clear. Lets you know how to get in and lets you know how to utilize it at home. And next question, are the 10-day intervention lesson sets to be completed consecutively, or can they be spaced out? So, there's been a lot of research done on intervention. And what we found is we really want three 30-minute sessions per week as that minimum. But does that mean we have to do Monday through Friday? No. Ideally, we can absolutely spread them out. Previously, I did Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it's not 10 days in which 2 weeks. That's it. No, it's 10 sessions. So if you have a group Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then you would say, okay, 3 weeks. We have 3 weeks of those lessons because we have 9 lessons. And then the 10th lesson, I would do some review and progress monitoring. So absolutely space them out, but we do encourage that we maintain that research-based 3 times 30 minutes per week, if at all possible. Awesome. Okay, everyone, this is all the time we have for questions today. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to pass it back to Victoria.
Yes, thank you so much, Joelle. That was such a fantastic walkthrough of a student's journey using an MTSS and going really deep into mCLASS intervention and boost. So thank you again. This was really fantastic. I saw a question that I wanted to answer live about getting the recordings and decks for these past webinars. We are updating our page that has links to all of those in the coming weeks. So you'll definitely receive your recording this week, but look out for a link to a page where we're listing all of the decks and things that are shared during the webinars that we've had the past few weeks. So I appreciate everyone joining today, and thank you so much again, Joelle, for your fantastic presentation, and we'll see you all at the next one. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining.